interview after the budget. You've been very kind to us every year, and thank you so much for that. Millions of people are watching you across India through CNBC TV 18, CNN, and our News 18 channels across the country. First of all, congratulations on what is your 9th consecutive budget. No other FM has done it consecutively for so many times. I think it has also been a period which has been marked by a lot of turbulence. You've seen it all. You've seen the pandemic, you have seen some shooting wars and now tariff wars. And through it all, you have steered the economy. I think if you look at the bigger picture, a job very well done indeed. You know, it is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, any consequential economy in the world. You know, you've managed to keep fiscal discipline under check. You've also kept inflation well below 2%. So the big picture really looking good. I'll ask my first question, which I always do when I start. You know, if you look at the reactions of the budget, some people have called it a status quo-ish budget. People have called it a conservative, cautious budget. How do you react to this? You know, people saying no bold reforms this time. Of course, much is there in the fine print, and it is all coming out. The markets have, you know, come back today. So, what was weighing on your mind when you were preparing this budget?
Well, as was observed by you and by domain experts, not just in India, even outside, Indian economy's fundamentals are absolutely strong. It is the global uncertainties, which of course always every government has faced global uncertainties of different order, different level. But now the extent to which global uncertainties are bearing on countries and impacting decision making is of an order that we have never seen before. So certainly we had to keep that uncertainty in mind and plan for what is going to happen this year and what is going to commence in the next 5 years from this year. In that a new Finance Commission cycle starts. And above all, like the Honorable Prime Minister said, this is going to be the first budget in the second quarter of 21st century, which is up to 2050. Yes. In between, closer to 2050, is 2047 when Vikasit Bharat will have to be achieved. So, our direction, our goal are all set. So it was for us to, keeping in mind the global uncertainties, plan for 1 for this year, 2 for the entire Finance Commission cycle, and 3 leading up to Vikasit Bharat, how do we want to take them? And that is why, slightly differently from every other budget, this time a lot more was said through Part B, right, which actually is unusual because it's not just the tax proposals taking us towards 2047. It also shows how we want the administration to respond, whether it's tax administration largely, or how the fiscal policy and other things are derived from it. And that is why I think this budget, everyone is welcome to have their view, and I respect that. And I try to understand why a certain perspective has come out. Even if it's criticizing it, I try to understand what is the basis from where they've come. But to have had Indian economy grow at the fastest rate from among major large economies, not just 1 year, not just 2 years, now for steady 4 years. It is the stability point that I want to underline. Prime Minister's political stability because he is in the 3rd term, yes, and also his understanding of how you respond to business has remained the same always. We have to be receptive, we have to enable, we have to remove we have to extend the red carpet but remove the red tape simultaneously, and ease of doing business. These are consistent policies. Tax certainty brings stability for businesses. have been the core beliefs. It's almost a code for him. And that is why, remaining in his third term, he has given the message of stability through this budget. Just one last line on this particular observation is stability and also making sure businesses are able to do business in India at a time when global uncertainty is making decisions difficult for even businesses from outside to come into India. So we are clearly projecting India as a place where businesses can be done, and the large Indian consumer market will have to find its own higher levels of achievements, so opportunities for them. So that is, I think, therefore, this message. So vision, searching for vision, or saying this budget has no vision, is, I think, not understanding the perspective with which we are coming. And one last point here, budget and aside from budget, reforms continue. We have done several reforms, not through the budget,
yes,
but yet outside of it through the year.
Yes.
That is why the expression reform express, it is continuing to move and move at a good pace. So not just the budget, please look at the performance.
No, you have done that with GST rationalization, which was outside the budget, a bold reform there. I think there are reforms here as well. What would you consider as some of the signature highlights of this budget?
The customs overall, some of which have been, several of them have been mentioned in this budget, but there are several which couldn't be mentioned for want of time, and also the fact that there are few more which will carry on further. So the complete overall of customs is a major signature, and of course as a reform that, but looking at the frontier areas, investing in them, promoting R&D.
So you're projecting a nominal GDP growth of 10%. What is your outlook for inflation and your estimate for the real GDP in 26-27?
I think we've indicated it very clearly in the budget. I'm very sure that inflation will remain within the tolerance band, and therefore inflation doesn't have to worry us much. And everything therefore looks at it from the point of view of, if there is a deflator which is going to remain low and stable, it will have an impact on your estimates.
Yes. No, you know, if you look at the GDP growth in the last 2 quarters, 8% has been impressive. Do you think that we can sustain this like China did for many years, an 8% growth? Do you think India can do that in the longer term to be able to grow at the clip that we are hoping it to achieve?
Yes, and that is why the stability of the government and also the policy of the government matter.
Okay. And do you think, what is feasible for India considering that the nominal GDP has been on a decline since FY22? So where do you see the nominal GDP going in the next couple of years?
I strongly believe once the fund flows come in, because all of the factors are strong, all of the factors have really been the strength of India. So your macroeconomic is, 2 days ago we had this news report saying foreign exchange reserves have touched and crossed 700 billion.
Yes.
So you have every indicator doing well. So what is that one thing which can make a difference? That one factor which can make a difference, and this is common knowledge, is if there is more funds flowing into India, that itself will give us a big relief. And for that, those who went out also went out booking profits.
Right. So
India will have to draw a lot more funds for investments in India.
We'll come to fund flows in a little while. An interesting thing that I noticed, World of Statistics says that China contributes 26% of GDP growth in the world, global GDP growth. India contributes 17%. Right, so overall put together we are 43%. US has done a mere 9.9%. Elon Musk had an observation here. He said that the balance of power is shifting. Would you agree with that? And how soon can we close the gap with China?
It is the truth that China and India together contribute so much. That's a fact. For India to aspire to bridge the gap, yes, we have to work very hard. And there are sectors which will have to be given greater stimulus. Productivity gains will have to arise out of using technology. Our manpower should also get better deployed in the areas in which their skills lie. Yes, we have a lot of work to do, and we will have to do it. So, and that is where my trust and faith is. When the government is stable and when forward-looking policies are encouraged, we can still achieve it.
Stability has been your big message this time. You know, tax holiday for data centers has been a bold reform this time. What response do you expect from this? And would it also apply to Indian companies like TCS?
See, we are talking about global companies setting up GCCs.
Yes.
Global companies, if they are Indian in origin, will also have to have their profits and other things understood. Global profits made in India. And most of these global companies who are setting up business in India are already also paying tax. It's not as if they are not being covered by taxation for the earnings that they get from India. So if anyone who fits into this definition, not just this, you've very clearly defined it. So referring to that definition, whoever fits in will get it.
So an Indian company like TCS might fit into that.
A global company.
A global company like TCS would fit in. Before I go forward, I would like to take, what the opposition feels about the budget. So Rahul Gandhi has always been very critical of the economy and what you've been doing. When Donald Trump talked about India as a dead economy, he chimed in immediately. In this budget, he says that the finance minister is blind to the realities facing the government. How do you react to this?
He's the leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha. I want to take him seriously. And I want to take his observation seriously to see if things can be done better. But most often I think he shoots from his hip. He doesn't keep good foundational data and then make his observation. I think on the dead economy comment, I'm not referring to anybody else, but being in India, being in the parliament, being the leader of the opposition, hearing all the questions being asked during question hours, replies being given, written, standing up, ministers say, that one comment in his haste, voicing the comment made by somebody else from outside. You are a member of the parliament, you are a leader of the opposition. Are you saying you're living in a dead economy? That itself sort of pulls the carpet from under his feet. You need an opposition leader who speaks with data and with such heft that the government will have to answer you. Now, when you speak sometimes without any kind of basis, I want to respond to him, but what do I respond on?
Yeah.
You're speaking out of thin air. India deserves a better opposition party. I'm not commenting on individuals. The party should do a lot of homework to make its leaders speak responsibly in the House.
The one thing that you did this time which, has become a subject of conversation, the markets also reacted, was increasing STT in the derivative segment. And I've heard the comments by, your secretaries who say that it was to curb rampant speculation. Could it have been done differently, by managing margins or contract sizes? And was it a prudent thing to do at a time when, the global sentiment is the way it is and the markets are also on a weak footing? How do you react to this?
There are many observations that you're making on which opinions can differ.
Yes.
There are people who within India comment saying India's markets are overpriced. I'm not even getting into that debate.
Sure.
The Revenue Secretary made it absolutely clear. It is not for revenue considerations that we've done this.
Yes.
It is not on all STTs.
Yes.
We are only touching on futures and options.
Yes.
Cash is not even touched.
No.
So you can take them forward faster.
Yes.
Some others take their own time. But we will be going ahead with.
So this time it's a very decisive
Yes.
mandate to go for.
That's right.
And you're very confident of achieving the number
Yes.
as well. Okay, that's good to hear. You know, this budget has also given a big fillip to AI, and I would like you to spend a little time trying to help our viewers understand the rationale behind it. The Eco Survey does point out to an AI bubble building up in valuations. So in that backdrop, what are we planning to do? How do we take this forward?
The government's interest in bringing AI is to improve productivity. Large-scale production benefits when you have AI influencing. Small-scale companies, MSMEs, in some sectors will benefit with AI. AI also is now so much sought after from the point of view of the orange economy.
Yes.
AI now has become part of every office. I've said this before, that in income tax and in GST, using artificial intelligence, deep tech, we are able to detect and see the money trail where we need to chase. Physically, manually, without technology, it would have taken years for us to find the money trail. Whereas now, you go on this AI, you are able to get the entire web before you of who's going where, from where to where money is being sent, and so on. So if that is the case with income tax, that's the case also with rural technologies.
Yes.